This is like deja vu.
Why?
Because we had a drink in order to go see The Predator.
Now
we have to drink to talk about The Predator.
But that's okay with me.
Holy fuckballs.
Woo!
This movie... Where do we even begin?
I don't know. Like, I don't even know how to explain it. Like, should we, like, explain it and then break it down into, like, what we liked about it?
Okay, so let's start off with our general review.
Okay.
So this is gonna be our Predator review, and
The Predator,
excuse me. And then there will be spoilers attached to this episode. So there are spoilers at the beginning of this episode, so just be warned. Also, I don't know. I don't know. You know, I watched Predator. I watched Predator 2. I even watched Predators.
Before seeing this one?
No, after.
Oh, you did?
Yeah,
okay,
I kind of
more fresh in your brain then.
So I kind of watched those three, and then like I watched a couple of reviews of the Predator.
Yeah,
and
a lot of people hated it.
Yeah,
a lot of people hated it.
You know, and I even came on the show and said, "In Black and Deckard, I trust."
Yeah, I know.
They kind of let me down.
So you weren't a fan of it, or?
So, walking out of the theater, I had a fucking grin on my face. I was like, this is pretty fucking awesome. I thought this was great. I had a fun time.
It was super fun.
And I don't know if it was because we went with a whole group and we drank but like before we went to go see it, and we talked about it afterwards, or if the movie was just generally fun. I don't know. Because now, like a week removed from it, I'm thinking about, shit, there's not one marquee scene that I can remember from this movie.
And I was thinking of that too, because I'm like, oh shit, we're doing this review, and I kind of forgot a lot about the movie already. But I think that's kind of, I don't know, like, I think you can't
Maybe that's the beer.
Maybe it's the beer, yeah. Like, I just don't think you can take this one serious. And I mean, none of them are serious movies. But I think this was just like a fun, kick-ass, have a good time, have a couple of beers with your buddies, watch in theaters, because action films like these are great in the theater. You know, you get the whole sound and everything's dark. But I kind of forgot a lot about the story.
Yeah, and...
You know?
There's really not much of a story.
There's not much of a story in the first place.
You know, so my review on this, like... I enjoyed it. I still maintain that I enjoyed the movie.
Yeah.
I had fun with it from start to end. There was a lot of good scenes.
Mm-hmm.
There were, I enjoyed the practicality of the original Predator.
Yeah.
What I didn't enjoy and what wasn't brought to my attention till after the fact that the Ultimate Predator was a CGI Predator.
That's what I did not like about it. There was a lot of CGI in this one.
Yeah, and so I'm like, you have like the classic Predator that's in a practical suit facing a CGI monster, and it kind of fails in comparison because...
So should we explain what that is, though? So people know, like...
Well, if you've seen the Predators, then you should already know.
But for those who haven't...
Okay, well, this is a podcast for horror fans. If you're not a horror fan, you need to get the fuck out.
And sci-fi fans.
Boom. And, well, maybe sci-fi
fans.
Oh,
shut up.
So apparently there are two kinds of predators.
Mm-hmm.
One, the classic predators are the ones that we saw in the first two, and then there's another tribe of predators that have a blood feud going.
Mm-hmm.
So they're warring factions of predators. So much like anything else, each species evolves.
Yeah.
And so those big fucking predators are the top of the food chain of the predator,
They're
race.
like, they're the mega. They're like the ultimate. Yeah.
They're the alphas while the other predators are omegas. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So, in the Ultimate Predator, and throughout this whole movie, there's this kind of like this good... I mean, it explains a lot. It explains a lot why they drain the spinal fluid.
Okay.
Because if you watch it, then you realize why they take the spinal cord from the victims.
That's right.
And so they inject it into them so they become better killers and better hunters.
But so are the basic predators helping humanity in this one?
That's another thing.
Right? That's still kind of up for debate because it's like they kind of are they're trying to help maybe the humans from the alpha predator.
Yeah.
That's what it seemed like to me.
I mean, why else would they give him a fucking predator suit?
Oh, so we'll talk about that ending. I was disappointed. I was disappointed in that ending.
Yeah, I read the original ending to it.
I read it too, Arnold, but he didn't want to do it.
He didn't want to do it. He like, fuck that, I don't want to do
that.
that.
But I was expecting Arnold to show up. I'm like, it's Arnold. And I was like whispering like, oh, it's Arnold Schwarzenegger. You know.
I was kind of hoping. Like, that would have been dope. Like, I wish someone would have booked that. That would have been dope.
So, so let's give the storyline.
I mean, look, my review of this, I enjoyed it. The characters were likable. It was very fucking hilarious. Yeah.
Oh my god.
And so, I mean, the characters were hilarious throughout.
Super funny.
You know, and this
lots of good jokes and one-liners.
Yeah, and this is Shane Black. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like Fred Decker. They have some really good comedy. You know, there's some really good like comedic timing on there. And there's not one point where I felt like, whatever. You know, there's not one point. Like, all these people are supposed to be crazy, so they're supposed to act crazy. And so they're supposed to say some zany shit.
On the crazy bus.
Yeah, and so I enjoyed this movie. Looking back at it, it'd probably be... I'd probably rank this below Predators, maybe.
Really?
I probably would.
You liked the Adrian Brody one better than this one?
I would have to say a little bit, yeah.
I would need to revisit that because I've only seen that once. And
it's Predators is basically a fucking remake of the Predator, of the original Predator.
Predator, yeah.
You know what I mean? I see that, but the cast in there is great. It's fantastic. You have a lot of great actors who became great actors.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I really like what Robert Rodriguez tried to do there.
Yeah, and he's a good director. I really do.
He didn't direct it. He produced it. No, he produced it.
Who directed it?
Shit. Get back to me on that. I'll let you know in a little bit.
I thought he directed it and produced it.
No, he produced it, and I think he pitched the idea to Fox.
I see.
And so... But he had a lot of creative say. Yeah. So that's what I liked, and I liked what he was trying to do and trying to bring it back and wink at the fans a lot. But
this one tried to do that though, because to me the opening scene of this was so 90s. Like, I felt like it was very 90s or like 80s, like the ship crashing and like, I don't know, like it just, like the music and like the sound effects, it was super like nostalgic for me. And you did have those, like, one-liners, and you did have that one guy say, get to the chopper. Yeah. Which I was like, okay. So, like, it did kind of throw back a little bit. One thing I will say that I'm highly disappointed in, these guys were not lubed up or oiled like the original. They were not shirtless. And McKenna Boyd Holbrook should have been shirtless and baby oiled during this entire film, and he was not. So I was very disappointed in that. I will say that. So that's my complaint.
Okay, so what is your review of the movie? Like,
I enjoyed this. I thought it was super fun. I went into this not taking it seriously and just being like a horror sci-fi fan. I just like, okay, this is gonna be fun, and it has Boyd Holbrook, who I fucking love, you know, and it has. I didn't know Thomas Jane was gonna have. I didn't even know that was Thomas Jane at first. Like going into this, I'm like, that's Thomas Jane. So I liked the cast going into it. So I thought it was super fun. The story, very choppy. Very fucking choppy. And then you have, like, Sterling K. Brown, who's hilarious in this, by the way. He had, like, some great one-liners. They didn't really explain who he was. He just kind of, like, shows up. Yeah. And, like, Jake Busey, they kill off so soon.
Actually, he didn't die.
I thought he did die.
No, he didn't die. Because he was at the... He told Dr. Casey to run after...
But
he got injured. He got injured, yes. But like after he got injured, he got back up and he was holding his side and said, "Hey, run!"
Oh, okay.
So and by that time, the Predator had already left containment.
Okay, so he's still possibly
still alive.
I like him, but I thought it was fun because his dad was in Predator too. So
which I kind of wish they used Busey a little more.
Me too.
Just like maybe like. Exposition scenes, you know.
But as soon as I saw him, like, oh, I love him, and like he had like a cool look going on, but
I wonder how many people got that though. Yeah, I really do wonder how many people got that reference.
Yeah, but like I said, they don't really explain a lot of there's not a lot of character development in this. I will say though, it is cool that they did have the son have like was Asperger's that he had.
Yeah, I think so.
I didn't get that at first. because I thought he had just like an ear issue because when the alarm went off, like he's holding his ears.
Was it Asperger's?
I think it was Asperger's. Because you hear the bully say, "Oh, let's have a juicy Asperger," and then later on you hear about it again.
I thought it was autism, but I'm wrong.
Yeah, so I don't know, but it was cool to have him play that because you don't really see that in a lot of movies today.
And originally, I thought he was supposed to be like the actual anchor to this movie.
Yeah.
And I remember when the first trailer came out, and it featured the kid.
It has
heavily,
a lot in it, yeah.
And everyone fucking lost their mind.
Yeah.
It's like, what?
Yeah. So, but he is in it a lot, but yeah, I don't know. And this kid's like super famous. He's been in a lot of movies.
But the thing is that people were like, oh man, how are you going to have this kid go up against the Predator?
I know.
Like, is this just going to be like a kid movie? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think that's what everyone was going toward.
Yeah.
They're
and
like,
it was advertised like that, you know, to be fair, in the trailer. But it's McKenna's son, but basically he has the gene that the Predators want. You know, it's like this new race, or not a new race, but it's like the new line or something.
Yeah.
So, that was interesting. I kind of wish
he was supposed to be like the chosen one.
The chosen one, yeah. I wish they went more with that. I do wish there was more character.
I do wonder, because, like, you know, I do think that the scandal about this movie is gonna hurt this movie.
And it did. It has.
And
how much did they have to edit out of that guy? So the guy, there was an actor.
There was a lot of significant
sexual
scenes.
Assault, right?
Yeah, he was convicted of sexual assault of a 14-year-old.
So he's not in this at all. They had to edit
they cut
all
him
of him
out.
So I wonder how much though, because wasn't he like a scientist or a doctor?
Yeah, he was a scientist and a doctor, and he had a lot of exposition scenes with Dr. Casey explaining
what's going on.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I felt that was missing. Like and maybe that's why.
And they didn't even reshoot those scenes. They didn't even recast them or nothing like that.
Yeah.
And Shane Black knew.
He was friends with him.
Yeah, so he knew about his conviction.
Yeah, he was trying to like give him a chance.
I don't know how the cast got wind of it, but I remember Olivia Munn coming out and said, "This is not right.
Yeah.
No, I won't promote this movie."
But they all backed her up, though. Like Boyd Holbrook backed her up.
Yeah, the whole cast.
They all backed her up.
The whole cast and crew, even the studio said, "No, you need to cut this. You need to cut them out or reshoot."
So they did right on that. But I felt because of that, a lot of the story stuff and a lot of explanational stuff was kind of kicked to the curb.
I mean, to be fair, we don't know if those scenes would have made it a better movie.
True.
You know what I mean? So we don't even know the context of those scenes either.
I wonder if they will ever release that though. You know?
I don't know. I doubt it.
Yeah,
I really doubt it because of his crime.
Yeah.
I doubt they'll release those scenes.
Yeah. But so, yeah, like, I felt like there wasn't a lot of development with that stuff. It's just like a fun, my take on this, it was just a fun, kickback, like, action movie that you don't want to take seriously with good one-liners. You know, that's kind of how I went away with it.
You know, I'm kind of disappointed because I wanted to see what that fucking chase was about. Because there's in the trailer, you see them all in Humvees in a armored convey, and they're running and they're chasing down something, and they're shooting a fucking 50 cal. And
that was
like,
cut. That wasn't in the movie.
That was the ending scene. That was because when they reshot this movie
before they go in the woods.
No, that was supposed to be the actual ending. That was supposed to be the actual final battle with them in the convoy.
Yeah,
that was supposed to be the final battle.
The final battle, I was disappointed in.
I feel like I appreciated that they had the Predator hunt them one by one. What I didn't appreciate that it was too fucking dark to see anything.
Yeah.
And, you know, geography wasn't established, so you didn't know who was where.
Who was who. But I did love the bromance between Thomas Jane and what's his name?
Michael Keegan Peele.
I did love that, and then. But that wasn't established first because they hated each other on the bus. So that to me was confusing. Remember?
Well,
he's making like your mama jokes and
no, there was a friendship there, but it was just like
because he was like attacking him. I know they did that.
Wasn't that for the?
They did, but you could tell he was like they did, but you could tell he was like angry. So I didn't get that.
Well, I think they had to sell it though.
Yeah,
they had to sell it. Otherwise, if it looks like they're playing, they're not gonna go in there and just break it up.
That's true, but the bromance was amazing, and like when they die, they like look at each other. That look that they give each other, like, and then they, shoot each other in the head. That was hilarious.
That was pretty hilarious.
And then I love, like, there's funny humor in this, like when the Predator kills in that truck and the guy driving, everyone okay back there? And the Predator hands the thumbs up.
Yeah, yep. Like,
That was hilarious. Cool. Yeah. And then, like, the dog predators, whatever those things were.
Oh, yeah.
Like, what were those?
Oh, so in Predators, they actually have those on their planet.
Oh,
those are
that's
actual,
right.
Those are actual things. They use those to...
Don't they write them?
No, they use those Adrian Brody said it best. Like how hunters use, like, hunting dogs to fetch their prey. But, like, their prey would have to either use all their resources to kill the hunting dogs, so they would run low.
That's right.
And so that's what those dogs were. Those dogs were just like,
They're cute, like in a weird way.
And I didn't understand why the dog was following Dr. Casey.
I don't know. Maybe they like women more. I don't know. But she was playing fetch with it, so maybe that's like,
Didn't it suffer some kind of weird brain damage that made it more friendly? Isn't that what happened? Like he shot it in the head, and then all of a sudden it wasn't aggressive anymore.
Could have been.
And then they made jokes about him not being able to finish it off.
Oh yeah, maybe.
Maybe. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, it's possible. But they were cute. They were fun. But yeah, I was disappointed in the ending, and I liked what he said though. Like, oh, I'm a whatever his measurements were. He's like, that's all me, Bubba, or like that's my suit,
Yeah.
So I did like that, but I it was just kind of like that's it. That's all that the ending is, and
I don't know. I mean,
were you disappointed in the ending?
I was disappointed in the ending for sure. I was because I was kind of expecting a xenomorph to come out, an alien, like a fucking face hugger.
That would have been cool.
That would have been fucking sick, and then end right there. Like, oh my god, yes!
I wish it did have more of an open ending, like what? Like setting up for another,
You didn't think that suit did?
The suit did, but
like
it wasn't
a Predator fighter?
It
seemed to me like a setup for another movie.
It wasn't enough, like, it is, but it wasn't like a bam, like, it wasn't a super impact, you know what I mean?
It kind of went along with the whole, how it just maintained its goofiness.
Yeah. But, yeah, so, I mean, overall, like, I really enjoyed it. My rating would be, like, maybe 3 out of 5 or 2.75 out of 5. Just, I mean, it wasn't great. Like, it's not an amazing movie, but it's a fun.
It's a fun movie, but I think this movie hurt the franchise more than it helped. That's for sure, in my opinion.
I don't think it hurt it.
I think it hurt it because
I think it's trying to keep it going and it's trying to keep it alive.
Well, that's another thing that we need to talk about too, because Disney is taking over Fox next year.
Why?
Which means this could be the very last Predator movie that we ever get.
No, they have too much of a fan base.
But, obviously the fans didn't show up and go support this movie.
Do you know how it did at the box office?
The Nun beat it.
Really?
So, yeah.
That's not good.
So I think it is barely making its budget back.
Do you think it'll have, like, a cult following, though?
I think over time, like most of the Fred Dekker and Shane Black's movies, over time when it gets released on DVD, this movie will find a new life and it will find its audience.
Because it was fun. I mean, like, I'd watch it again. Like, it was fun.
Yeah, I'd watch it again. But, to me, it's hard for me to overlook the fact that Shane Black is such an amazing director. And I'm really hard pressed to believe that this is what he could come up with. Yeah. I mean, this guy did Iron Man 3. Even though I didn't like it, it was probably one of the better Iron Man movies. He did The Nice Guys. That was a fucking great movie. So Shane Black can direct big budget action and also tell you a story.
Yeah.
And so
but those are more comedic though.
Yeah, but but at the same time, The Predator is still a blockbuster. Iron Man 3 is a blockbuster. They're not the same, just different ratings in different universes. That's true. He proved that he can handle special effects on a big level. Mm-hmm. Now, to me, I wonder if Fox interfered with this movie.
It's possible.
A whole lot. Because there was also rumors coming out that this movie was being recut the week before it was released.
Yeah. And I think that I could kind of tell, like, that's what happened.
And so you don't know what was cut or what was missed. So when the studio goes out and tries to recut a movie a week before, this happened. This exact same thing happened with Suicide Squad,
which sucked. That was terrible.
But it happened with that movie too. There was so much potential behind that movie,
and it blew a huge load all over
because
the
studio fucking interfered.
And I hate when that happens, because that's why independent film is great, because they have more control. But when you have big studios do movies, so much gets cut, so much gets edited, so much gets rejected, and so the director doesn't get the whole vision that they want.
Yeah.
Same with producers as well. It's just a shame. The gore was good though in this, I will say. The special effects were good. There was good gore scenes. That was fun. But the story was just very choppy.
Look, I went into this not really expecting the story to go. I mean, we all expected
knew that. Yeah.
But I'm gonna say this, but then I'm gonna get to my next point. Fuck, what the fuck was I saying? Oh, so no story. Look, I don't mind there's no story, but at least give us character development so we can actually care for these characters.
So what did you not like about it then? What triggered you that you didn't like this?
So I didn't care for any of the characters.
Not even Boyd Holbrook?
I didn't care for any of them because they all felt two-dimensional. They were not three-dimensional characters. They felt cartoonish. Which is fine, which I get, you know what I mean? This is a cartoony movie. But at the same time, there's a way to make these...
To balance it.
What about the little boy?
Yeah, what about the boy?
I didn't care for him either.
Really?
He's a really good actor.
Yeah.
I'm not saying they're bad actors or anything like that. I'm just saying, their character development throughout this movie...
They're very one-dimensional.
They're not complex. They're not complicated human beings.
But the original, they weren't really... super complex either.
No, they weren't complex, but their relationship between the group was established. So
it was believable.
It was believable that you knew that this group of Marines or rescuers were fucking friends.
You know what I think?
And they each had arcs that they needed to go to.
But I feel because those were macho guys, right? You had we were talking about this too, the Stallones, the Schwarzeneggers, we kind of had that a lot in the 80s and 90s, and I feel now this generation is so different. I feel they don't showcase that anymore.
Well, in the 80s, it was all about machismo. It's
Which
those
I
motherfuckers
miss.
supposed to be macho. You know what I mean?
And I miss that. I just feel this generation is
it was so uncool to be girly man. You know, we
Yeah.
make the pump you up.
We need more of those guys now, though.
And so I feel now everyone wants to be lean and fit. You know what I mean?
They need to be
fine.
oiled up, first of all. More muscles, more boom, more I fucking miss that because I grew up with with that,
Yeah, and I get these guys are got to be everyday, Joes and stuff like that. And some of these guys are fit, but they're supposed to be able to relate to the average Joe. Which that's fine. But at the same time, none of these guys have realistic character arcs that make me care about them.
Yeah, they don't.
Not even Dr. Casey. It's just well,
yeah, she was kind of
she was fucking supposed to be prominent throughout the movie, but I didn't care for her. I was well, if you fucking die, you die for it, bitch. I don't care.
Yeah. I only cared about Boyd Holbrook and his son in this, and the bromance guys. Those are the only people.
I think the bromance. I think Thomas Jane and Michael Keegan. I would love to see a fucking movie, a buddy cop movie with those two.
With those two, right?
That would be fucking amazing. Shane Black, make that happen.
I know, that'd be hilarious.
And so I felt their relationship was complicated.
They had the most out of everybody.
Yeah, you know? I think they had fun with their relationship.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Everyone else just kind of played the role and just whatever.
Paycheck, collecting a paycheck, yeah.
And then on top of that, since that whole ending was reshot 2 months ago, I feel everyone was just kind of phoning it in because by that time they're fuck, we gotta do this again.
I know.
You know what I mean?
And it showed, yeah.
And to me, Shane Black said, in an interview, it was all with MovieWeb, it was all, we shot the ending to make it bigger, to make it better, more bloodier, but then when we see the ending, I don't know.
Yeah.
And then, so I say that to say this, though, What the fuck were people expecting?
I know. It's like
that's what I think.
This is not an Oscar movie, you know. Like it's not. It's not that art. It's not the audience.
I've argued with people. Like people always harp to the first one, which I get. The first is a classic.
Yeah.
It's timeless. You can watch it now.
You know, nothing
and
is
it still
gonna
holds
beat
up.
that though. Nothing
will ever beat it. But that's the thing that people don't understand is like, what do you want from a Predator movie? I even asked someone this, like, what do you want from a Predator movie? Like,
one-liners, action, macho men, and blood. Those are the three things.
But the most like common thread that I got, they always harken back to the first.
Like, what do they say?
It's like, I want guys in the jungle, and I want them to be hunted.
Yeah.
It's like, and then I'm like, dude, they tried that with Predators, it didn't work. And on top of that, you know, you have a studio that wants, like the Predator. Mm-hmm. That movie only succeeded because of Arnold.
Yeah.
Period. I don't care what anyone says.
Yeah.
That fucking movie succeeded because of Schwarzenegger. Because there's a fucking name behind that movie.
Yeah.
The other movies didn't have a name.
They didn't have it.
As much as I love Danny Glover, he's not up on the mantle with Schwarzenegger.
And he's not Carl Weathers, you know?
Yeah, and so it's like, what is it you want?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You can't remake that movie because one, it's already been made. Two, it's already been remade.
It's already been remade.
And then no one went to go see it. And then 8 years later, they try to give you a different story, and yet the fans fucking shat on it.
And it sucks because they were hunted. There were wood scenes in this where he hunts. You know, he hunts in the fucking, like, suburbia, which I thought was kind of cool. You know, so, like, they did have the hunting elements, but, like I said, you cannot please horror sci-fi fans. We are the most difficult people to please, and there's always going to be something we don't like.
I really viewed this movie more as a comedy.
As a comedy?
As a horror comedy?
Than even I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
To me, it just really played out more as a comedy than anything to be like.
And so does the first one, too.
And I was expecting that.
Yeah. That's the thing, though. Like, what can you expect? Like, I don't know.
Well, you could tell from the commercials what... I didn't go in, like, thinking it's going to be anything.
I just think the fans were too hard on this one. I really do.
I don't think fans gave it a fair shake, but I also agree with a lot of the criticisms, and, you know, I do agree that, you know, it was way too funny at times, but then, you know, there were some good
there's a lot of intense violent scenes, though.
Yeah, there was a lot of good violence. The Predator, the classic Predator was practical, but the Ultimate Predator was CGI. To me, that's like...
That was my complaint.
I didn't like that.
Big mega, yeah.
And I feel too with Michael Peter Hall. No, is it Kevin Peter Hall? The Predator. Hold on.
Who?
The guy that played the Predator.
Oh, I don't know.
Hold on. I know it's either Kevin or Peter. Can't remember.
Dun, dun, dun.
That's a Predator thing being. Keep up, guys. Come on. Oh my god.
Man.
Kevin Peter Hall.
Those are like two first names.
Kevin Peter Hall. So he was the first Predator in the first two movies.
In the first two?
Yeah.
Who was it?
And he died.
Not him?
And no, he died after the second one.
Aww.
And so, I honestly feel like, you know, they get these people, these stunt guys that do it, and they don't really, you know, know how to move like a Predator.
That's what I noticed too. They weren't like really moving like in the first two. You can really see that they had like that cool form, that cool movement. But yeah, I don't know. Like I think it's also hard too because today everything's so polished and everything has to be perfect. Where it's like. You don't get that grittiness factor really anymore with big studio budgets like these. Yeah. So take that with a grain of salt too. I don't know.
To me, it's like So let me ask you the question. I've asked this online a couple of times. So did this help or hurt the series? Did this movie help or hurt?
I don't think it hurt it. I'll argue. I don't think it hurt the series. I think it's trying to get a new fan base. It's trying to get more people and keep Predator alive. So I'm kind of neutral on that. I'm gonna be like Sweden. I'm gonna be very neutral on this, and I don't think it hurt it because it was super fun to watch, you know.
Yeah.
And like this is the movie you want to watch with a group of friends on a Friday or Saturday night and have beers and pizza and like smoke some pot.
This is a good group movie. I will say this is a good crowd movie for sure.
For sure, and like. I haven't seen the Adrian Brody one in a while, so I don't know. But
that one is not a good crowd movie, but
this one, but you like that one better than the new one.
I do like that one a little bit better, but only because
he was shirtless.
I love those abs out there.
I actually googled a photo of that, and he wasn't that skinny. He actually had
he was cut.
He was ripped.
He was cut.
Like, why couldn't Boyd Holbrook do that?
I don't know. You have to ask Shane Black.
He can hunt me.
That was a Robert Rodriguez choice. I'll tell you that right now.
Robert Rodriguez should have done this one then, like shirtless, oiled guys.
It's funny because I think I was telling you last week after the movie that we were talking about the Predators, and I was telling you, oh yeah, Adrian Brody was doing sit-ups during takes so he can get shredded and show off his abs.
Yeah.
And so
it's like hilarious.
And he's all like, and then Adrian Brody's like, hey. When you get to the ending, I want you to slowly go up my abs.
What an Aries.
As I do that, I want you to show that off, okay?
All that work I did.
That's the money shot.
Oh my god.
And then you gotta watch the Predator. If you have the Predators, watch it with the commentary, because it is...
Does Adrian Brody do the commentary?
No, it's Robert Rodriguez and the director, and it is fucking hilarious.
Oh, man.
It is great.
But so you think this hurt the franchise? You don't think it is keeping it going?
I don't think it hurt as much as the AVP films did. I think those films hurt hurt
People forgot about those.
Yeah,
those
but
are forgettable.
Those movies hurt Aliens and Predator at the same time. So I think it kind of did hurt the Predator as a standalone franchise, just because I think this is the weakest one, and that's saying a lot coming after 2 and Predators. You know what I mean? I feel like this might be the weakest one. And it's the longest one out of the 3, actually.
It was pretty long. I don't know. I don't think it hurt. I think it was, super fun. And, I would totally watch this with, a group of friends again.
Yeah, I don't think I would watch this alone on a Friday night. I would feel no. I need to call some people. Hey, come over and watch this movie. We'll have, a bad movie.
Yeah, bad movie. Well, I don't think it was bad. I'm not going to say it's bad.
It's only bad if it didn't entertain. And
it entertained me.
And that's another thing that I was arguing with people. If this movie didn't entertain you, it didn't do its job. If you were entertained, then you can't say that it's a bad movie.
Were you entertained?
I was entertained, yes. But at the same time, it's I can't help but think, why did the other films work better? Because the lead character had a arc or had development throughout the story.
You know what I was disappointed, though? Because, the whole wife thing, I wanted them to get together again at the end. That would have been, better, because, he's such a detached husband, he's always working, and, as a soldier, she's raising this kid by herself. So I kind of wish they, got together again at the end. I feel like that would have brought it home,
Yeah, I didn't care. I didn't fucking care. I kind of wish they all fucking died.
Oh my god, that's horrible.
Fuck all of them. I wish they all fucking died.
You're terrible.
I wanted to see them get skinned and hung in fucking trees and shit.
Even the little boy?
Especially the little boy.
Oh my god!
I wanted to see them get his spinal fluid and become the ultimate predator.
That's terrible.
And then come to Earth with fucking.
Actually, that would have made it really intense.
No way they would do that with
if
a kid.
they did that with the little boy where they got the spinal fluid.
I wish they did, but
that actually would have been really intense.
Fucking 6 warships.
That actually would have engaged you more. You would have went. It's when in Hereditary, when
because
it would have been at the same effect.
Because people get so shocked when
what
kids die.
What just happened?
Yeah. Because then you're not expecting it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. That actually would have been a good.
They should have done that. Yeah.
Yeah, and I also.
We're sick.
I know, right?
We're a bunch of sick fucks.
To me, I also kind of I shared an article with the original ending. The original ending was supposed to have Arnold coming in a helicopter saving McKenna. And
McKenna doesn't need to be saved, though.
Well, McKenna's son, and Dr. Casey, and so
they should have killed her. They should have killed Dr. Casey.
Yeah, but I could see that she still is useful though. If they need her, if they need her for the sequel, then she's useful. Because she's the one that figured out what was going on. She was the one that figured out the weakness. She was the one that figured out why they were there.
I guess.
You know, so she was the one that was kind of moving the story forward because she was figuring out.
But therefore, because she's figuring it out, she should get killed because then that'd have more of an impact.
Yeah, I guess.
Anyways, what were you saying?
I mean, to me, it didn't matter. I mean, if she died, she died. I mean, to me, like I said earlier,
I want them all dead.
If they all died and then
died.
succeeded, I would have been much fucking happier. Like, yeah, okay.
So Arnold shows up.
Arnold shows up, saves them all, and then it ends.
Is he in a helicopter?
He's in a helicopter and he says, "Get in the chopper."
Wow.
And then it ends. But I actually shared on my Facebook page. I don't know if you saw this. I said, you know what? Fuck that. This is how I would have ended it. I would have ended it like right after that. A fucking ship comes, like a week after, a ship comes crashing down again. Boom. They go down. They all investigate. It's Dr. Keyes and Casey and McKenna. They go up to the ship with guns drawn. And then doors open. And then you see two predators walk out. And then they take off the mask. And it's Adrian Brody and Alice Braga.
Oh my god.
And he says, and Adrian is like, there's something coming.
Wow.
And then it ends.
That would have been definitely a way better ending than what we were left with.
Because then it ties everything together.
It does tie, yeah.
You know what I mean? Because then you're not wondering if they're still stuck on that fucking game planet.
That's true.
You know what I mean?
That's true.
So, I think to me that would have been a much better ending.
I think that would have had a more, like, audience reaction, like, whoa, you know?
Yeah.
Because the one that we were left with just wasn't, like, it was cool, that suit going on you. Like, that was cool, but, like, that's it.
Yeah, no,
you know?
I didn't care for the Predator Killer suit. I was like, whatever.
I mean, I would want
it's
that.
nice. It's nice for like toys and shit. Don't get me wrong, but to sell toys, but no.
Yeah. All right, so what would you rate it?
I give this like a 2.5 Z's out of 5.
Wow, that low.
Yeah, you know.
You seemed to really enjoy it when we were watching
I really
it.
did, but then like I watched like
the other ones.
I watched the other ones, and then I watched reviews, and then I got into it with other people online, and I was thinking about my arguments, and I was like, fuck, you know what? Those are kind of flawed. I'm like, no, this movie didn't work on a whole lot of levels. So to me, like, you know, doing this...
People ruin people's opinions, though. Like, that's why I don't read reviews, and like...
Well, it's like... Well, the reviews don't really influence me as much, but people, when I talk to people online, you know, sometimes they make valid points. I'm like, well, yeah, that's true. But then I make another point, and it's like, oh, well, yeah, but... So, I think about it, I'm like, well, okay, no, this movie didn't work. I remember liking this movie a whole lot, but I do remember thinking, I wouldn't put this above Predator 2.
I gotta revisit those.
You know, because Predator and Predator 2, to me, are the best ones.
I mean, nothing's gonna top the first one. Like, the first one's the best.
Nothing will ever top
Like,
the
I
first.
already knew that, but, like, I wouldn't say... I don't know. Like... I try not to read other people's things because, like, I'm not easily manipulated, but I just don't like to have that influence of other people's. Because I don't agree with a lot of people, like, 90% of the time anyways, but it does hurt, like, what you experience and how you take it off, like, firsthand, you know?
Yeah, but to me, it's like, I always like talking out about movies, though. Yeah. Because, to me, I always want to figure out either why I liked it or why I didn't like it or something like that. Mm-hmm. You know, that's why I like doing this with you, because then I can talk, like, you know, perfect example, last week, Antiviral, or the week before, The Fly. Mm-hmm. You know, as we get engaged in conversation, I realized, oh, this is a funner movie, and then understanding your side of it made me think, oh, okay, then I'm just being too harsh or just too critical of the movie.
That's true, yeah.
You know what I mean? Because I can be critical as a motherfucker.
Oh, I know.
So don't get me wrong. Yeah, I know.
You?
I know, right?
Oh, and I can too. I get like bitchy, like, no. Like, that's not how, no.
Yeah, just say Daniel Craig is the best Bond ever.
Fuck no. Daniel Craig is the worst Bond ever. Bond should not be blonde. Bond needs to have dark hair and not be fucking so broody like that. Anyway,
the scenes that were supposed to be sexy were really stiff.
What's weird is
I think of Bond, like, that's one of his unintended pun.
No, like, here's the thing. I know
he wasn't stiff enough.
I know I'm going off on a rant. I did like Daniel Craig a lot in The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo. I did like him in that a lot. I don't like him as Bond.
No, I thought he was a terrible Bond.
I'm just not down with it. However...
See?
People argue with me because I think Robert Pattinson would be a great new Bond.
Oh, that's a conversation for another fucking day.
People are gonna hate on that, but whatever. Anyways, so
bold statement right there.
It is bold. Watch Good Time.
I know. That's a great fucking movie.
That is a great
movie.
Anyways.
But, so to me, it's like, again, when engage in a conversation, we talk about it. There are movies that, I don't know how to feel about, so when I talk about other people that seen that movie, and I talk to them about it, why didn't this work, or why did that work, or, stuff like that. That's why I like talking with other, cinephiles, too, because they can show me, or tell me, oh, this is why, or this is, why it didn't work. Yeah. And so I understand and take that knowledge in, and then I kind of put it into my own perspective, okay, then when I revisit it, I go in with a fresh set of eyes, and it's just oh, okay, you know what I mean?
I can see.
And so like the first two, our first Dog Days of Summer series, perfect example of me coming around to the movie toward the end of the conversation.
Yeah, you totally did a 180. I actually enjoyed it.
Yeah, so you know what I mean. So again, it's conversations help me go through it. As more. And another example is when I reviewed Justice League. When I saw Justice League, and when me and my friend went out of the theater, we were fucking loving it. We're like, oh, that's the best DC movie ever. That's fucking dope. And then we got in the car and we started talking about it. Wait, this fucking movie sucks. What the fuck are we talking about? And then we ended up having to re-record our review because... Oh my
god, really?
Yeah, because we're like, no, we were so high on this movie that it's not even fair.
Shit.
And so we re-recorded our review, and we were just a little bit more real with it because, you know what? This movie was not fucking good.
And sometimes it takes time to, digest or, settle in, So, like I said, when I first saw this, I was like, oh, it's super fun. And then I tried thinking more about it. I'm like, well, the story kind of there wasn't really any character development.
Well, to me, if this movie had more character development, I think I would have liked it better. Yeah. Because then I would have cared for what happened to each and every one of them.
Yeah.
But to me, that's the only thing. That's what the first two Predators have that the others don't.
Yeah.
Is that you have these characters and you put them, in an otherworldly situation. You break them down. But then at the end, they have a story arc. Yeah. You know what I mean?
This one didn't.
No, they're up the whole time.
Yeah.
They're up the whole entire time, and yet there's no arc to it.
There's no arc, yeah.
So then the question is, what makes a good movie then?
A good Predator
That's a
movie?
really
Because
hard
if
question.
you walked out of the movie enjoying it, then is it that simple that it was it was enough then because you enjoyed it when you first walked out?
It's so hard because it all depends on the genre.
That's one of those weird...
Yeah, and it's what do you...
See, I'm never like that. I always know. I can always tell from a commercial if I'm going to like it. I'm usually right, and I'll know, the first half of the movie.
That's a whole other...
But I'm more of I don't get really... I get a more, in my head, I'm thinking, that doesn't make sense. Yeah. And you don't do that. You just go with the flow, oh, that joke was funny, that was, but for me, I'm like, oh, wait, that didn't tie together. Oh, I didn't understand that part. That didn't, and I'm one of those thinkers that's kind of annoying. And
yeah, no, and I hear you on that. But I think, it all depends on, that's a whole other podcast thing that we could talk about. Because it does depend on the genre, it depends what you're looking for, and it depends on the context of the movie.
Yes.
So this one, I wasn't thinking, oh, this is going to be Oscar-worthy and amazing storylines. I didn't go into that thinking, I'm like, this is going to be hot guy, I like shooting predators, gore, fun one-liners. That's what I was expecting, and that's what I got.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what I got. So I'm content with the movie.
That's what we got.
I went in thinking it was going to be stupid.
You went into it thinking it was going to be stupid?
Yes, absolutely.
And were you entertained?
I thought the jokes were. Yeah. I laughed. I probably, if I wasn't invited with the group and it was just me making the decision, it's probably a movie I never would have went to the theater and seen.
That's the
thing. The group aspect did.
Yeah.
That seemed fun to me.
Again,
going with the group, going out to eat after, having some beers. It seemed to go along with that. Yeah. So
it's a good movie to watch with a group.
Again, that's why I started the podcast, is saying I don't know if I enjoyed the movie or if I enjoyed the company that I went. That's why I started off.
That affects your movie experience.
Because we all walked out of the movie fucking smiling and laughing and like that was pretty fucking fun.
Yeah.
I don't remember saying anyone it was good, but I remember saying everyone was saying it was fucking fun.
Yeah.
And that's what it's supposed to be. It's supposed to be a fun movie, which understandably I get. You know what I mean? I subscribe to the Joe Bob Briggs theory. If the movie is boring, then it is a bad movie.
Yeah.
If it didn't entertain you, then it didn't do its job.
Exactly.
You know, this movie wasn't boring. This movie wasn't, bad, but it did entertain me, and I had fun with it. And at the end of the day, that's all you could really ask for it.
Yeah.
And so I am looking forward to like rewatching this at some point in time when it comes out to DVD.
Yeah. With a group.
Yeah. And so I am looking forward to that. So that movie has it going that's what has it going right now for me. But just,
Did they say they're going to make another sequel yet? Have they announced it yet? Or
no, because one, this movie hasn't made its budget back. Two, Disney is taking control over Fox come January.
Why?
Did you not hear about the murder?
No, I did, but why though? Like, I don't understand that.
Because Disney is on a quest to fucking conquer the media. Jesus. They're out to conquer everything. So now they own The Simpsons, Archer, Bob's Burgers.
They own Bob's Burgers? Oh, they're not going to mess Bob's Burgers up, are they? Because they're doing a movie.
Yeah, they're going to mess everything up.
I love Bob's Burgers.
And so the thing is that you got to understand, they didn't just buy 20th Century Fox. They bought Fox. They bought Fox Sports 1.
So does that mean it's going to be more censored?
I don't know. See, that's the question.
Because Bob's Burgers is not censored.
So what happens? But then you got to ask yourself, what happens to characters like Deadpool? What happens to the New Mutants?
They're going to have to
which is going to be a horror movie.
They're going to have to do different companies.
Yeah, but those are Marvel movies, and the reason they bought Fox was to control their own property.
Nazis.
And so that's the thing.
That sucks. Like, that's going to censor, because Disney's like, Disney, it's family. It's...
but, give Disney some credit. I mean, they released Pulp Fiction and Clerks.
That is true.
The Piano.
That's true.
You know what I mean?
Maybe they're taking a new chance and a new approach.
People don't understand that, Touchstone, Hollywood Pictures, Miramax, we're all subdivisions of Disney.
That's true.
And those movies release, like, horror movies.
They might just want to do, maybe they want to change things up, and I don't know.
But, what happens to the adult content, though?
That's the thing.
That's the question that's on everyone's mind
Everyone's
right
thinking,
now.
like, what's going to happen now? Well,
I don't know. So this may be the last Predator movie we ever get.
What year was the last one out?
2000. It's 8 years.
8 years, okay. So,
2010.
I don't know. Unless, another company wants to come on board and...
I don't know.
Studios, franchises and studios are a mess. Look at the Halloween franchise. Look at the Nightmare on Elm Street franchise. Like, it's a mess. And I don't know. Like, that's a whole other podcast conversation, but...
Friday the 13th.
Friday the 13th was a disaster.
Because that's the one that actually switched fucking companies.
Paramount and...
to New Line.
Mm-hmm. So, I don't know. Things get messed up. And that's why they're not, like, really streaming anywhere, right? Like, Halloween, you can't get that on Netflix. You can't get it on Shudder. You can't get it on Amazon.
No, because the rights are all over the place.
And so it's a huge, gigantic mess.
I think the rights are now with Blumhouse, though.
Really?
Yeah.
He's trying to control everything now. No, he is. Like, he's everywhere now. I don't know.
Another conversation for another time, because that is just a can of worms.
I know.
Look, I enjoyed the movie, but it is what it is. I prefer Predators over this one. I'll still maintain that.
Yeah.
Other than that, I don't know what else to say about this movie.
That's pretty much it. Yeah, it's just a fun movie. Enjoy it with a group of friends.
I do. Well, I don't know. Like, here's my idea for a Predator movie. Just do it with Arnold.
He's not going to do it, though.
Just do it with Arnold. That's
He's not going to do it.
That's why that first one succeeded.
You guys never talked about what the ending was supposed to be with Arnold.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, I did. Yeah. We just talked about that.
He shows up to save McKenna and gets into
Casey.
The
Yeah.
and Casey.
And then I pitched my idea about Adrian Brody.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, sorry.
She's like, God, I forgot about
There's
this.
a beer.
Yeah.
It's like, you talk too fucking much. I tune you out.
Yeah, that's all my thoughts. I just think
beer.
it's fun. Watch it with a group of friends, and that's my opinion.
Yeah, we're drinking because we need to drink to talk about this fucking movie.
Drink when you watch this movie.
Yeah, you'll enjoy it more. Trust me. Good time.
Yeah.
I did like it a little better than The Meg.
Yeah, it was better than The Meg.
The Meg was probably one of the worst movies I've ever seen.
I would like to see Jason Statham in a Predator movie. That'd be kind of cool.
You know,
that would be cool.
No. You know who would be fucking great in a Predator movie?
Dolph Lundgren.
Oh yeah.
No, wait.
Who?
Wait.
Who?
The Expendables.
Fuck yeah. I want Expendables versus
Predator.
Fuck
that right
yes.
fucking there.
You can
Stallone,
have everyone
Lee,
in there.
Statham, Lundgren,
Everyone.
Couture,
Yeah.
Mickey Rourke, Bruce fucking Willis, Schwarzenegger,
Everybody.
Harrison Ford, for crying out loud.
Mel Gibson.
That's the beer talking.
I would and I want another Expendables movie, damn it. I want Expendables 4.
Well, he's doing Rambo.
I know. And he's doing Creed 2.
Yeah.
Which I'm excited for because Dolph Lundgren's in Creed 2. But, yeah.
But
Yeah.
that'd be my idea.
Yeah,
If you want to save that, you take the Expendables idea,
Fuck yeah.
put it in a Predator universe, and you go practical, no CGI blood.
Yep.
Boom, done deal.
I would love to see that.
Yep. Alright, so that's our review and our spoiler discussion. I'm gonna title this "The Hunt Has Not Evolved." I'm sorry, it just hasn't.
Okay.
It just hasn't evolved. It just didn't. It didn't
All right.
evolve. You don't agree?
I'm really neutral on this one. Like I'm.
Make a decision. Make a decision.
I think it tried to bring it back, and it's trying to. I mean, with this minus the whole studio thing that's happening, I did think it's trying to get a new base out there. You know, so I think it's trying to evolve. I don't know.
Still maintain it hasn't evolved. I just think that's a catchier name.
Wow. To catch a predator.
No, we don't want that. No.
Anyways.
Have that news guy star in it.
Chris Hansen. So what are you doing here today? Why don't you take a seat?
That would be great.
He should make a cameo in the next one. Holy shit, that'd be hilarious.
An actual predator shows up.
Yeah. It'd be so fucking funny.
Alright, well, that's it. Stick around. We're going to be doing our second episode. So, it's going to be about Leslie Vernon.
Behind the Mask.
I'm Johnny Zuko.
And I'm Elysa, and stay scary, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.